Hello everyone and welcome to the video. In this short video, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step breakdown of how we take business owners and professionals through the Detox Blueprint program. I've been coaching now in this space for coming up to 4 years, and I've been in the health and wellness space, really submerging myself in this maze of holistic health for coming up to 10 years. And really, I want to distill the process of what we've been able to put together of how we can take people who are suffering from chronic issues like insomnia, digestive issues, anxiety, skin issues, a whole host of problems, take them through this step-by-step system and really get them back to their best health so they can do what they need to do in their lives, whether that's run a business, be the best parents, whatever it is. So this is for people who are looking to heal, who are business owners and professionals that need to get to the next level in their business, but they're stuck with debilitating health issues. So let's jump right in and show you the step-by-step process. So this is the Detox Blueprint pathway, the process that we take individuals through when they join the program. So firstly, we have re-establish foundations, we have restore elimination pathways, reset the nervous system, rebalance parasitic load, and then finally reinforce long-term success. Because trust me, when you go through a process like this, it's not like I've done a detox and then I can go live my life and go back to my old ways. You learn skills that we want you to take with you so then you never get in this situation again. And as you can see, all of these different pillars are interchangeable. It's not doing one then move on to the other. They are all part of a coherent framework and system that we teach you within the program. So before we jump in to discussing the framework, I just want to quickly address who this short video is for. So firstly, you have a chronic health issue that you can't figure out. You've tried the biohacks, the supplements, maybe you work with functional medicine practitioners, and you've probably seen some mild improvements, but you're still not where you need to be, and you're still trying to find answers. Secondly, you're highly motivated to feel like your old self again. There's no quick fixes in life, and with any process, it requires commitment and doing the work. So you have to be motivated. And this is for all walks of life. If you're running a business or launching a business, you have to be motivated. There's got to be something within you that gets you turning up day in and day out. And it's exactly the same with this process. Also, you've tried many things and you've seen some improvements, but you still feel lost. So maybe you've seen an improvement with your sleep or your skin slightly better. So you are seeing improvements with the current setup that you've done, but it's still way off to how you can feel. Also, you're not new to detox. This is not for people who are just dabbling in what detox is about. These are for people who know detox is a crucial part of getting their health back, and they've maybe dabbled in the odd liver flush or the odd enema or whatever it is, or done sauna sessions after the gym for a couple of weeks. So they understand the value of detox, but that said, they've tried it and they still can't really see any improvements. And they're questioning, well, is detox the thing? It might not be. Trust me, it is, but it has to be done in a certain way. And then finally, detox is a big part of the puzzle for your health. Again, if you're still not sure if detox can help, I don't think this video is going to be for you. Feel free to watch the video, of course. But again, people who join the program and are all in on the process and see insane results, they know and they believe that detox is part of their healing process. So if you're not getting these types of results week in and week out, you're not doing detoxification correctly. This is just images from last week within the community. Literally, we get stuff like this every single day. So if you're not releasing mucoid plaques and parasites and sludge and the volume of stones that you can see here, you're not doing it right. And I understand why, because when I was starting my journey and realizing I have to cleanse my body, it's not just doing the standard protocols that we see out there. There's ways to elevate and personify getting insane results. Just look at the amount of stones coming out here. What I tend to see is people do a liver flush and they'll get minimal stones and they think, ticks that box, it's not for me. With everything in the detox game, there is a process, there's a structure, there's a coherence of doing multiple things at the same time that gets these results. Getting these types of, look at these parasites. It's absolutely crazy. You can probably see how big the hand was compared to what came out of one of my students. This should be happening on a regular occurrence. If you haven't seen these things coming out in the toilet, you are not going to get the results that you're expecting. So again, this is just a snapshot. It's not to do shock and awe. This stuff we get week in and week out within the program, and this is what has to come out of you. These things are in your body really as a protective mechanism to remove toxins out of circulation. Even parasites, they are bioremediators. They're there because of the toxic environment, the toxic terrain that has been created. But I just want to highlight this because this stuff has to be coming out of you week in and week out if you're going to see real results. And a lot of people get minimal results, if that, and they then think detox isn't the solution. And trust me, it is when it's done in the right way. So getting back to the Detox Blueprint pathway. So let's go through each one and explain a little bit more about what it entails. So firstly, re-establishing the foundations. We have to have good solid foundations if we're going to have a springboard into getting the insane results that you just saw on the previous slide. So a lot of it, this is beyond just detox. Our success in life comes down to the habits that we incorporate every single day. So I really dial in on what I call the daily detox disciplines. These are things that you bake in every single day, and once they become habit, they absolutely transform how you turn up and show up for yourself every single day. That incorporates things like binders, like minerals. We lack minerals in our diets in every single way possible. So we need to know how to get these into our bodies on a consistent basis. And the right type of minerals done in the right way. That's a really important thing. Doing things in isolation or doing random things and just trying them and it didn't work. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's just not done in a coherent strategy consistently over time. So when we do re-establish foundations, we need to make sure that we've got the foundations in place in order to springboard off and have success throughout the program. We also look at the gut healing blueprint. Again, you will have seen all of these restrictive diets and all of these different ways to heal and seal the gut. Most of them don't work. I'm sure you've tried many of them. People might go to keto or carnivore, and don't get me wrong, you get relief because you're removing things that are triggering reactions in the body, but you're not solving the underlying issue of healing and sealing the gut. So we give you guys access to the gut healing blueprint to really heal and seal your gut, because that is a springboard of successful detox. Because if your gut is damaged, everything downstream doesn't work. We also look at cleaning up your external environment. Now, again, most people who join the program have done a lot of work in cleaning up their external environment, changing out personal care products, looking at their exposure to non-native EMFs. But I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Every single person who joins the program always has blind spots, without fail. So again, we do a personalized audit on your personal external environment to make sure that there are no blind spots. Because trust me, things that you might not even realize could be sabotaging your efforts. So again, that's really important, cleaning up our external environment and having an audit to make sure that you're ticking all the boxes. So re-establishing foundations is about getting some good habits in place, healing and sealing the gut, cleaning up your external environment, and dialing in the basics like binders. Which binders do we take and when do we take them? Having minerals in adequate amounts every single day. What minerals do we take? When do we take them? So it gives you a real solid foundation in how to move forward, and it gives you a powerful springboard. And I have people within the program, they literally, once they get into it and they bake it in as habits, they all say, I will never drop these habits beyond the program because they're that valuable for overall health, cognitive function, how I feel for myself, how I show up. Next, we have restore elimination pathways. So, you've probably seen the detox drainage pathways. You can just Google it. I talk about it within my content. We have to cleanse and clear out our drainage funnel in order to detox successfully. And again, there's a blueprint on how to do that successfully in the shortest amount of time. And a lot of it comes down to the proprietary detoxes that I've created going through my journey. As I said, people come and they've done a liver flush, or they've done an enema, or they've done a coffee enema. They've done things in isolation, and they've done things that they've just read. Someone's given a free download and an instruction on what to do. That stuff's great, and you might see some relief. But the stuff that moves the needle is when someone has been in the game and built out proprietary detoxes for each of those individual modalities. So, for example, liver flushing, I've done coming up to 150 liver flushes. You don't need to do that much, but I've done so much because I've been doing them for 10 years, and I know exactly what to do to get those insane results that we can see here. There's not many people that get these types of results, and it's down to having the right preparation and the right process to go through. So again, we have proprietary processes or detox processes that we teach you within the program. So when you do these cleanses, you get insane results, and that then delivers you feeling better and keeps you building that momentum. We also talk about terrain rebalancing. So again, I'm very much of the philosophy of our internal terrain really determines our ability to be healthy or to be sick. So we really focus on cleaning the terrain of the body, going through many layers, going through the blood, going through the cells, and also into the organs, done in a systematic, coherent fashion. Again, I really want to hammer this home. It's not about doing things sporadically. There is a system that you need to follow in order to get the result in the fastest time possible. And then finally, optimizing elimination. If we are not pooping every single day, we are not going to be able to detox effectively. I recently saw an article in one of the mainstream media press outlets, and obviously, we know, take it with a pinch of salt, anything in those channels. And it was an expert, and obviously that kind of gets our guards down. Like, an expert says something, and it was the expert was saying pooping once every 3 days is fine, and that is absolute madness. We have to be pooping every single day, and a lot of people are constipated, and we need to make sure that they have optimal elimination every single day. And we get you guys pooping pretty much, amazingly well within a week of joining the program with the different proprietary methods that we use. So that's really important. Going through and basically restoring the elimination pathways is a big part of the process, because if they're not functioning, it's really challenging to get any results downstream. Then we look at resetting the nervous system. So what I saw is there's a lot of people that just focus on nervous system. There's a lot of people that just focus on gut healing. There are people that just focus on traditional detox. The body is an integrated system, and we are now in a scenario where most of us are stuck in fight or flight due to the amount of stress that we're exposed to, due to the constant notifications and on our phone of the world's going to end, right? It's this constant danger response due to our poor digestion. So we have to look at reestablishing and resetting the nervous system, and we take people through set protocols and new habits they can incorporate into their daily lifestyle. We also look at energetic work as well. I'm a believer that we aren't just a meat suit, and I invite people, if they're open to it, to look at the energetic ways of healing. And again, this is not my bread and butter. I'm a detox coach, but again, I connect people with world-leading experts around how we can look to free up our energetic pathways within the body. Really powerful stuff. And again, I open people up to exploring that because it's very powerful, and I think it goes hand in hand. And then finally, reestablishing tech basics. We are without, I mean, it's so obvious. We all have issues with our technology today, including me. I have to really be dialed in on when I access my tech and when I don't, because I understand how addictive it is and how that plays its role in lighting up my nervous system. So we give people philosophies to follow on how they can manage their technology. Then we move into rebalancing parasitic load. So again, the body is always trying to keep us safe. And as we become more toxic and our internal terrain becomes toxic, the body has these defense mechanisms in order to keep us safe. So essentially, accumulation of these intrahepatic gallstones in the liver and the gallbladder is encapsulating toxins. Mucoid plaque is encapsulating toxins in mucus. Parasites proliferate because the environment is toxic and they're actually doing a cleanup operation of eating the heavy metals and the chemical solvents. So it's not necessarily they're the bad guys, but they definitely cause issues when they overgrow. So really going through a parasite reset blueprint where we go in and systemically remove parasites. It's not just enough to take a bottle of pills. Trust me. I tried that. I wish it was that easy. It's a systemic approach that is needed. Orally, rectally, what time of the month are you targeting these parasites? There is a real methodology and process to make sure it's done and it doesn't come back. We also look at candida. A lot of people, so many people are suffering with candida overgrowth. I had candida for years and it was the bane of my life. And again, there's a way of clearing candida. Again, not necessarily the bad guy. We need candida in certain amounts within the body, but it overgrows due to an imbalanced terrain. So we give proprietary protocols to clear candida for good and keep it out of the body at the levels that cause all the different issues. Then we have advanced heavy metal framework that we take people through. Everyone, so the main headline toxins, and again, you would have seen this from my content, chemicals, heavy metals, and EMF. So again, we need to give people guidance on how to remove heavy metals and chelate heavy metals out of the body. That's really important, alongside the chemical solvents. These are all lipophilic in nature. So all of these different toxins are fat attracted. They love storing themselves in fat tissue, or if it goes beyond fat tissue, it basically accumulates in these stones and these plaques and these parasites. So again, giving people the tools and the frameworks to get these toxins out of the body. And then finally, we reinforce long-term success, because here's the deal. I want people to go beyond this program. My overarching goal is to educate up to 1 million people on detox, because if I can teach those people, they can teach their family, they can teach their friends, because we live in a world now where there's so much suffering, and detox is a part of health that no one looks at. I'm not saying that detox is the only thing. It's not. It really isn't. If your sleep isn't dialed in, if your nutrition's not dialed in, if you don't have good community, then detox alone isn't going to do much. But detox is the pillar of health that hardly anyone realizes is the missing piece of the puzzle. So that's my overarching goal, to empower and teach as many people as possible. And when individuals leave the program, it's about empowering them to have the tools to go off and continue to do the maintenance strategies that you need. It's not about, I've done this program and then I'm off and I can go back to my old ways. You'll never go back to the person you were, because when you learn this information, it's so empowering. And beside that, it's the community and the support that you get. People make lifelong friends within this community, within this program. And again, that is powerful within itself, because as I'm about to show you, I've seen many limitations with solutions out there in the marketplace, and having a community is really important. So I want to quickly look at the problems that I saw through my own journey, and also through looking at what was out there in the marketplace. So we had individual challenges, and we also had kind of industry challenges, like what can I see within what's available for people when trying to fix their health. So firstly, looking at individual challenges, people, whether it's detox or they're just into biohacking or they're working with functional medicine doctors, whatever it is, they usually don't have a coherent strategy or a coherent structure. They're trying random things. Oh, try this, didn't work. Oh, I'll try this, didn't work. And they're just going from one thing to another, whatever comes up on their feed on Instagram. And I know this because I lived this. This is my personal experience. And I spent 5 years. I mean, this was like a full-time job for me. 5 years, $250,000. I mean, I remember having a whiteboard, and I had like post-it notes. I was so committed because I was like, I cannot accept this as my reality. I cannot accept this is my lot. So I went all in, and I was in a very fortunate position in my life where I had a good job. I didn't have a wife or a child, didn't have any dependents. So I could just literally go all in on fixing the process. And I can tell you, you have to have multiple things in play in a coherent strategy in order to get the job done. It's not doing things in siloed. Many people come to me saying, I've tried binders, I've tried enemas, I've tried liver flushing. And I'm like, that's amazing that you found those modalities, but doing them siloed, you will get nowhere. So that leads on to the next point, Protocols done in isolation, it's not going to work. And, really think about running a business. It's not just focusing on one area. There's multiple different pillars that you have to work together in order to have a successful business. Exactly the same, having successful health, multiple things going on at the same time. The other thing I noticed, and again, from my own journey, the healing journey is insanely lonely. There's only so much bandwidth you have with your loved ones on talking about a protocol that you're doing, right? Or a new supplement you're trying. And then when it comes to your friends, from my experience, I didn't want to open up about what was going on because I felt embarrassed. And I've had so many clients who've joined the program say, I want to go on this holiday with my friends, but if I go, I'm going to expose how unwell I am. And actually seeing them for the odd afternoon, I can kind of cover the patches up and look normal, but they don't want to expose themselves to show how unwell they are. So they end up cancelling trips and holidays. And that stuff is so important. Having time with your friends is so important. And we end up really feeling isolated. And that's what I found. And then the other thing I found, and I see a lot from people who are kind of exploring working with us, they're on very restrictive protocols. They can't eat certain foods. They can't do certain things. And they're living in this very narrow bandwidth of what they can and cannot do. And that alone, along with the loneliness, is really restrictive, really limiting. And it can really lower your life force when you're just living this, you're living a half life. You're living at 50%, trying to heal, right? Trying all these different things, but not really seeing the results that you'd expect to see. So that's the individual challenges that I experienced, and I see a lot of individuals experience who are coming through the program. In terms of industry challenges, firstly, I really see a lack of accountability. You might go see a functional medicine practitioner, you might join an online program, and you get the protocol, you get the videos, and off you go. And we need to be accountable. We need people in our corner who actually care for our results and our success and getting through to the other side. Another thing I've seen is limited access to practitioners. When I first started working with a functional medicine practitioner 10 years ago, I started to get Herxheimer reactions. I started to get bloated. I really started to feel unwell one evening, and I panicked because I didn't know what was going on. And I remember sending an email, putting it on like important, and like the title was urgent, and it was like, please help me, I don't know what's going on. And that practitioner took 1 week to respond. 1 week. And it really, that was the nail on the coffin for me. I was like, that person doesn't have my best interests at heart. The flip side of that now with a lot of these online programs is you invest your energy into seeing a certain character and thinking this person can help. And then as soon as you get into the program, you either get stuck into a Facebook group or you get given an account manager. You don't even get access to that individual. And I know, and again, this isn't just in health. This is in all different programs. I've joined programs, in the early days trying to figure out online funnels, and I was invested in, this guy's going to help me. You pay, you get in, and then you just have videos of this person. You never see them. They're never there. They're not part of the ecosystem of people that help you and keep you accountable within the program. So that's something I saw as well, because there's a real disconnect there and dissatisfaction of I've invested in this person and this person isn't around. And then I've also found, I call it centralization of information. You have to go to a certain point to get access to protocols and information. You work with a functional medicine practitioner and it's like, wait for me to send you the protocol. And again, really, we need to feel empowered and to learn skills in order to take them on and be the best version of ourselves. And I could see there was a lot of gatekeeping on certain types of information going through my journey from what I could see in the industry. So I saw those problems, and really part of my program, I wanted to address a lot of those issues. So firstly, when we talk about going through the program, I've given you the 4 pillars or the 5 pillars, but ultimately people need a roadmap to follow and be given the time to follow it at their own pace. Alongside that, it's having that roadmap personalized, because trust me, no one roadmap works for everyone. It doesn't exist. So someone who is coming to me with chronic constipation versus debilitating anxiety, the roadmap is the framework, but it's not, you can't follow it the same way. You have to have a personalized approach to it. And that's what we do within the program. So we have an onboarding call, and then and essentially I'm here to hold you through that process and personalize it for you. Next is having direct access to me. So again, I realize that you kind of get through the castle walls, and then the person that you've invested all of your time and energy into isn't there. In order to see successful results, I need to be involved in the process. So people have access to me directly. We have a private Slack group, and people can message me directly, you can voice message me, and it's me responding. It's not someone else, the other side, who doesn't have the experience and expertise. Going through this model of coaching for 4 years, it's very easy to see patterns of behavior or symptomology and know the response and how to turn it around very quickly. And again, that just comes through experience. So having access to me, I think, is really important. Next, we have community connection. As I said, people miss this. You have to have a community helping you through. People in the program are all going through their own individual challenges, but they're all going through the same roadmap. And having people that you can reach out to and connect with adds a huge part of the process, because doing things in isolation, I remember seeing a study saying that if you are lonely, it's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So having that connection of people who are like-minded is insanely powerful. And I say to everyone who joins, what you put in energetically is what you'll get out. And people make friends for life within the program because they're all there doing the same thing on the same journey, and they have people that they can lean on and rely on emotionally, because it's tough doing it on your own. Also, built-in accountability. We make sure that we know where you are along the process, and if you want to be held accountable, you are held accountable, and we check in with you. Obviously, weekly Zoom calls adds to the community vibe of feeling a connection, being involved in something beyond just yourself. That's really important, because again, you get stuck in this isolated mindset of just, you're on your own, and it's very counterproductive to actually healing. We also have protocols that work with your lifestyle. So again, yes, you have to be disciplined. Yes, it is not a quick fix. We take people for a minimum of 4 months through the program, but the protocols work around your lifestyle. That's really important. There's no point doing a protocol where again, having this restrictive life is really, it's not good. It's not good for our well-being. It's not good for our families. It's not good for our work. So having protocols that work with your lifestyle is important. And then finally, unlimited access to information. So decentralizing access to the information you need in order to go through the program, and also beyond the program, have long-lasting health. So there you have it, the Detox Blueprint pathway, the framework that we take individuals through in order to restore their health, get them back to where they need to be so they can run their business, be the best parent. Whatever your mission is, you cannot do it if you are surviving at 50%. So hopefully this resonates with you guys. If it does, feel free to book a call. The link in the description is below, and you'll book a call with one of our sales team to talk about whether this is a fit for you, and secondly, whether we can help you, because ultimately we want to get results for our clients, and we want to see whether you are a good fit. If you still want to learn a little bit more about me and my work, feel free to check out my podcast, the Ideal Day Podcast. We'll put a link in the description below. There's a lot of solo content where I go and dive into all of these different areas in length. And also, I'm interviewing, in my opinion, world leaders in health and wellness, way beyond just detox. So definitely check that out as well. And that will be in the show notes. Thanks again for your time, guys. Speak soon and talk again.